Hello, welcome to my 3D Amuser channel. This series called Mech series, and today this is part 11. And if you guys checked it out, the part 10 is I showed you guys how to detail in Maya and ZBrush. So you guys can go and check this tutorial. I will have the description in this link. Today what we're gonna do is I finished my model. Let me show you the model what I've created so far. So I did some in ZBrush and some in Photoshop, and you could see the mesh is not really UV'd properly, because what I did was I decimated mesh in ZBrush and brought it in my Maya. For some pieces, I modeled in Maya itself, so you could see the polygon differs. So I'm not worried about my topology or anything, because this is purely for concept, because that's what I created this model for. So you could see some of the meshes have like good topology, but those are the steps I modeled in Maya, so you can see it. So now what I'm going to show you guys today is like how to export our meshes to Keyshot to get a beautiful render. I did some of the tests in Keyshot, so I guess want to show you what I did so far, so you guys can see. It was pretty awesome. So you can see this is the renderer I rendered out from Keyshot. So what I did, I put a metal material, like a yellow metal material in my base meshes, and I created my skull, and I put some I just painted this details in there. So now I have an idea like what I have to do. So what in order to export your mesh to Keyshot, you have to go through a process called assigning materials to your meshes separately, and you have to export as FBX. So I'm going to show this 3 parts, because I don't want to show everything. And you can see in my outliner, I'm not worried about my naming space, but there are some things I named because it's a glass material, so I named it glass, so I know that I should put glass in that. And if I hide those, see, like even if I for skull, I put skull, so I know. And there's also I put wires in wires group, so you could see all the wires are in my wires group, so it's easier to understand. And there's also emissive. Emissive is nothing but it's going to create lights from these meshes. So this meshes will be converted as emissive light. In Maya, it's called mesh lights. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click. Let's say assign new material. So I'm going to assign a surface shader. You could assign any material you want. I assign surface shader because it's easier to see, and I assign a color to it. So I'm going to hit G to repeat the same action and hit surface shader. So now if you see, I'm going to change the color to yellow, and I'm going to hit this mesh, and I'm going to hit G to repeat the last action. So you could hit G in Maya to repeat your last action several times. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select everything. So if I assign this surface shader and assigning materials to all of this stuff, I could literally export this group. I did that already for demonstration purpose to make everything clear. I just want to make sure you guys getting the right information. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to export by going File, Export Selection. So I'm going to Mech bust my folder. I'm going to say demo Keyshot, so I know it. So I'm going to say FBX and the export selection. So once we hit export selections, it's going to go through a certain process. It's going to load. And meanwhile, I'm going to open my Keyshot. I'm going to open Keyshot 4. So it's writing my output file. So what's Maya doing is it's going to create one mesh, but it's going to export the materials with it as well. So you will see. So my Keyshot is loading, so everything is loaded. If you don't know anything about Keyshot, don't worry about it, because I created a tutorial for Keyshot as well. So I will have the video description in the description tab, so you guys can go and check it out. I covered the basic interface, how to navigate through Keyshot, and how to apply materials, and how to create your environments and everything. So you guys can check it out, then you guys can watch it, so it's easier for you to understand. So now I'm going to demo Keyshot. The FBX is exported. So once I click import in, so Keyshot is bringing all my geometry there. So boom, if you see, it's literally imported my mesh with the materials assigned to it, with the color as well. So it's easier for me to drag and drop materials in it. So one thing to notice here is, if I go to my project tab, I'm just going to plug it in here. If you click here, if you click on this, you can see the groups it comes with it. So that's where when I named my glass and skull, it's going to show the namespace here. So it's easier for me to go and assign the materials. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to my environment. So I'm going to change it to black, so it has a transparent background. So I'm going to my material tab, Keyshot library, going to paint, and I'm going to click and drag my material to it. So I'm going to assign something else to this and something else to this. For demonstration purpose, I assigned 3 materials to it. So you could see we literally created materials by clicking and dragging into our geometry. So there you go, that's it guys. So Keyshot is really simple, and it also helps you to do concept art really fast, and it's not used for production render. It's usually used for jewelry design and product designs. So in order to show the output, like, you know, for advertising. And so what I'm going to do, so now I have this environment, so I could change the environment by, so I'm clicking and dragging this environment. So do you see it reacts to based on the environment? So literally it's pretty amazing. So once you're happy with your render and the measures you brought in, you could hit render and you could specify the size you want. The presets is here. This is full HD. You could also say 4K as well if you want. So it's gonna update automatically, and you could say you want 32-bit or EXR or TIFF or whatever you want. I usually do TIFF, and I also include alpha transparency because it comes with alpha transparency, so I could have a background behind it. So the other tab you have to be focused on is, don't worry about anything else, go to passes. You can also have clone pass. The clone pass is nothing but multi-matte pass in Maya. So it will be really useful in separating the parts and painting on top of it. And you can also have render layers if you have render layers, so you don't have to worry about it. You can also have depth path as well. So the depth pass only works if you have environment. So sometimes it works for the geo unless it's really long. But the only thing I'm focused on is my clone pass. So once I have everything, I click render, and it's going to render my image really fast. So you could see this goes really fast as well. So I'm going to stop it. I'm going to say stop. So this is the process I used to bring in all my geo into Keyshot and render this out. So that's it for today, for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how I created my final image. So I'm going to show my final image now. This is composited in Photoshop. There you go guys. So this is my final image. So I did like created materials for all my geometry. So I'm going to show you how I created this materials in Keyshot. Then we will go and see how I did the compositing as well. Until then, I will see you in the next one. If you guys like this tutorial, please like, subscribe, and comment below. And if you have any questions regarding this tutorial, please write me at 3damuser@gmail.com, and I will be happy to answer you guys. Until then, you guys have a great day.